Engage. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Urbane Legends.
Can he take it, Captain?
Oh, they're the wrong generation.
Oh, no. Mix of streams.
So what are we? We're the internet's largest by volume podcast about urban legends and similar topics. I'm the reason they made the dress code because they figure I wouldn't wild when I'm in my fresh clothes. I'm Chris Flynn. And with me is Scotty impersonator, apparently, Mr.
Neil Urban.
How you doing, Neil?
Yeah, good, mate, good.
Yeah,
spring is sprung, isn't it?
Spring is springing. Yeah, we've got the daffodils. They are the symbol of spring.
The world's most pointless flower. No offence if you're Welsh.
Well, what's your problem with daffodils?
They're very
All
nice
flowers
looking.
are pointless.
I'll tell you what it is. Daffodils.
Oh, here we go.
No, because they pop up the first sign of sun, don't they? And then just die off like almost immediately. Just a bit of a shame. You know, wait a little bit longer. Wait until it's a bit warmer. They'll probably live a bit longer.
But they've got a delicious drink in them, haven't they? Like, didn't you know that? You know, like in...
Is that what's in the bulb?
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where he, you know, in a world of pure imagination, he picks a daffodil up and drinks the delicious, I don't know what it is, probably some kind of schnapps from the bulb bit.
A really wild hallucinogen. The rest of that movie is just absolutely...
He's just him lying on the floor with his eyes rolling back in his head.
He's just dreaming the whole rest of it.
Yeah.
The kids getting swallowed up under pipes and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's what you do. It goes. You have the daffodil hallucinogen, and then
chocolate rivers.
Get chocolate rivers and that. Yeah, I mean, our rivers look like chocolate at the moment because of the amount of sewage that's dumped into them because of our government. But I'm not going wild swimming.
Probably not a good idea.
But then your next thing is you get the mushrooms come up. I've actually there's actually a website that tells you where magic mushrooms have sprung, so you can go and collect them.
I wouldn't trust myself to pick the right ones. I mean, it's probably reasonably.
It's very, very easy.
Because you can pick them, can't you? But you're not allowed to dry them all. I think the law is...
Oh, fuck the law. There's no police anymore. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm just saying for anyone tempted to... I mean, one, be very careful of the mushrooms you're picking.
Anyone tempted to do it, go and do it and expand your horizons. I might do it this year, actually. Do you fancy having a bit of mushroom tea with me at some point?
Well, I'd obviously never touch any illegal substances.
No, that's true. But in Minecraft...
I'll tell you what, if you get some, then you try them first. You could be like...
And I'll tell you about it.
You can,
I'll explain it while I commune with the elder gods, presumably. So, Neil, we met up in real life this week, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
First time ever.
Yeah, never met before. Didn't go very well. Yeah, went out for a drink.
Went out for kind of a birthday drink and a catch-up.
Yes, yeah.
Did you have a nice time?
It was nice, actually, yeah. I thought, well, the first pub events was a bit busy, wasn't it? Because they were having... listeners probably won't know about the ancient Sussex game of toads.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to explain this, because I hadn't heard of it, right? So this pub, we used to go to this pub loads, and it was just like a normal pub. We used to go after work, get hammered.
The name it the Caxton.
Yeah, the Caxton pub.
If you're in Brighton, it's just off the station, but it's behind, so you don't get,
Yeah. But nice. But it used to be just like a pub. And now I think, because a lot of pubs are doing this, it's become sort of a multimedia pub to the extent that there's lots of games.
Well, I think you try and get on, like, I mean, a lot of pubs are struggling, obviously. Because, cost of everything, and, it costs a fortune, I suppose. So, they try and sort of put on music or games or whatever, or just to attract people in. Because obviously,
some of them went down the food route entirely, so pubs are basically
restaurants. They sort of tried that at the Caxton a while. I mean, they do food, but it's,
But they've got kind of ancient games, haven't they? Like there's barroom billiards. Is that
what
it's called?
Had that, because I remember you were talking about they used to have this big old card table.
Big card table, which no one ever used.
Now. No, you just sit around and have drinks.
They've still got a kind of locker built into the wall, which has the chips in it. Doesn't it? It's still,
they kept that as a little feature. Then they sort of pulled that out because it was taking up too much space and and now what they've put is a bar billiards table, which I quite like bar billiards. It's fun because it's like on a timer. It's sort of you put in sort of like a couple of quid or whatever, and then you pull out this thing.
It's got a little voodoo poppet on it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, basically what it is, you set up a load of these things.
Voodoo poppets.
Yeah, that's set up by all the holes. And the idea is you're on a timer and you take turns and you've got to sort of get them sink a ball down one of the holes without knocking
over the voodoo boys.
The voodoo boys, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of like it's on a timer, so it becomes increasingly frantic. You can lose points and all.
Like my favourite game, Screwball Scramble, the 1980s clockwork game where you have to get a marble around a series of obstacles within the time limit.
Yes.
I never had it, but a friend, my cousin had it, so I used to just play it there, really. You're the better off members of the family who could afford Screwball Scramble.
Yeah, I had a friend who had, what was that one called, Mousetrap or something?
Mousetrap, I had that.
It just took forever to set up and rarely worked properly. It'd be one of those things where you'd have to sort of prod the thing to get the cage.
Yeah, no, I had Mousetrap. The very, very good one called Haunted. Well, I say very good. It's the one I remember called Haunted House. Okay. I don't know if anyone's ever played that. Have kind of a castle bit in the middle. It's 4 quarters, and you.
I think I've seen this.
For some reason, drop a skull down into the castle, and then it might knock over your piece, and then you're scared stiff, and you put a mask on your character. Anyway, so Neil, I was quite angry at this game, wasn't I, Toads? I'd never heard of it, and it infuriated me. So, do you want to explain to the listeners how this game is played? Because just to back up a little bit, right? A team of people turned up and they tried to take over half the pub to play this game.
Well, they booked out a load of tables, haven't they?
Some of them actually had a kit on, which like a very tight-fitting kit, which I would suggest wasn't particularly flattering on a couple of them.
Well,
it's not like the sort of Kappa kits that like the Italian football squads wear, where they're all like really lithe and muscular. It was.
Well, no, it's a lot pub team, isn't it? So lumps and bumps like the rest of us.
But it was really tight, the kit. Sort of unnecessary. I don't know. Is that necessary for
the
game?
Well, I was sitting with my back to them, so I didn't pay as much attention.
Very wise.
But yeah, because when I first got in there was a bunch of really loud.
That's how I was making Graham giggle when we were leaving.
Oh, okay.
By making jokes.
Oh, okay.
cruel jokes. Go ahead. Come on.
Anyway, you want to explain? As far as I know it, I've only played it like once or twice.
You've played it.
Helen Bennett was going on it. We've done a couple of years ago. I think I can't remember.
Sounds like the kind of thing Helen Bennett would like.
Yeah. But basically, I can't remember exactly. So it's like almost like a tabletop with a hole in the middle. Yeah. And the idea is, these things, they're like twice the size of a pound coin. Yeah. But they're quite thick metal. It's like they look like coins that are about 2 or 3 times thicker than a pound coin, and about twice the size. And the idea is you just got to flick it onto the table, or ideally it goes in through the hole. And I think you get 5 points if it stays on the table, and 10 points if you get it through the hole. It's as simple as that. And you basically got to stand quite a way back. What generally tends to happen, it's all quite loud and annoying. You sort of flick the thing, and it just flicks back off. It's quite hard to actually get it just to land, and to It doesn't sound like it'd be very difficult to get it down the hole, because the hole is, hardly bigger than the size of the token itself. But effectively, that's all it is. It's like classic pub
game.
A
fairground game.
Yeah, effectively.
Okay.
And I don't know where it started, but I think it's local to this area. I think it might be played throughout Sussex. But yeah, there's various pubs. You can look at a website, and then there's
like a league, presumably.
Yeah. Well, they play Toads against each other. So I know it's in Lewes. It's in East Grinstead.
No, it's going to be in Lewes, isn't it? The county town.
Well, there you go.
With all the witch burnings.
West Sussex, don't know how much it's spread that far, but.
Well, I thought it looked fairly boring. But
it's I guess maybe it's fun for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or if you're taking.
If you're drinking loads, maybe.
Well, that's the thing is, it's like
drinking games.
I mean, I think darts is probably a bit more compelling, but it's a bit like darts in it. It's something you can, have a few drinks, and then it's not that difficult to pick up the rules.
I mean, for a game to be less complicated than darts is really going something that.
Oh yeah, I mean, with darts, I suppose there's a technique, isn't there? But
there exactly. There's some skill and like some maths.
A bit of maths, but it's basically just you could teach it to anyone in 2 seconds. Is there a way to
are there rules around how you flick it? Like, do you have to do it with a thumb, or can you underarm? Can you
Well, I'm not
can you
sure.
do a basket? Can you do like a 3-pointer, like
I think you've got
basketball?
to flick it, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. We
Oh.
didn't nobody really specified too much on that. It was just like, but it was underarm. Could I flick it at the thing? Was I remember
Right.
was what everyone was doing? But I don't know whether or not you can use other techniques. I've only played it like once.
So I would imagine like someone like a dandy from the 1920s who had just had his shoe shined and then would like wink at the shoe shine and flick them a buck or whatever would probably be quite good at it naturally. Whereas these days we tend to flick less coins at people, don't we?
That's true. You're losing
And
that essential
we
skill.
wink less as well, which I think's
That's a
I
shame.
don't, but most people do.
I mean, for me, it's like you should live your life as much like Terry Thomas as you can. I believe.
Yeah, I agree. Who's this delightful creature?
Exactly.
Okay, well, yeah, interesting, and yeah, that's about that on our meetup. It was all right. Then we went to a different pub, talked about stuff.
It was a little bit less noisy. Yeah,
it was a little bit less noisy. I noticed it started to fill up after we came in, though. So you know,
yeah, obviously there's something happening.
Trendy boys.
I'm being, I think, followed around. So yeah,
yeah, I think you're being followed around by flying squads, whatever. Yeah. So Neil, so this week, ending that section.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing
the door on that.
I'm not doing the one which I was going to do because there wasn't enough information. So I've decided to go.
Begs the question: why you put it on the list, then, Chris? But never mind.
Well, because there's a lot of different websites, and they all give a very small amount of the same information. Okay. So, you know, I didn't put my heart and soul into that list. You know, it's just spent a couple of hours you didn't spend. So, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's what you get paid for.
That is that's why I get the big bucks. So this week we're going to be looking at another beast called the Beast of Bladenboro, which is in North Carolina.
I've heard of this one.
Have you?
Yeah, I've got a feeling this is another Yeti type thing.
It's not.
Okay. I'm sure we've mentioned it on one of our previous podcasts. It's one of those ones where I'm almost like, well, we've not done that one before. But yeah, I think we've come across it.
Maybe.
One of our previous ones.
Maybe. But we're going to have a look through. There's a load on this, actually.
And it's like did you say? Because there's quite a lot of...
No, I said North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Excuse me.
Yeah. So it was a real series of attacks. So we're going to have a little look at the Fayetteville Observer, which is, I believe, a newspaper out of Fayetteville.
That sounds extremely probable.
North Carolina. And it's by Brian Gordon.
What's going on?
By Brian Gordon, and he's from the USA Today network. So it's like a Reuters thing, I guess.
Oh, excellent. Not from the 14 Times or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. So, just to say as well, because it's at the top and when we normally do it at the end, you know, please give us a like and a fair few of you subscribe, but if you could give us like a score and a comment, that'd be really nice. Yeah, we just appreciate it because we don't get them, and it'd be nice if we knew anyone was enjoying it.
We get a fair few listeners, but yeah, we don't. We tend to say at the end if you want to leave a review.
But
if you feel like it.
Like us, are quite standoffish.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah. That's all right. They found their kindred home.
Yeah.
I'm quite standoffish. My listeners are quite standoffish. But it'd be nice. So to European settlers, North Carolina was a mystery before it was much else. In 1587, off the eastern shore of what would become the Tar Heel State. That's an interesting name, isn't it? Tar Heel State.
Never heard that one before. Fair enough.
The English attempted their first permanent North American colony on Roanoke Island. No one knows what happened to it, famously. I would imagine just starved to death or got dysentery or something.
More than likely.
Within a few years, the island's 118 settlers had vanished, leaving behind only a single word carved into a fort gatepost, Croatone, Croatan.
Okay.
Does that mean anything to you?
No?
Do you think it was like do you think it was like a Lovecraftian beast?
Well, that was what comes to mind, isn't it? Yeah, they were engaged in some devilry, and or be like that. What was it? The Witch, that movie. These guys who were too Puritan for the Puritans, and then end up just creating a daughter commune to the devil.
The thing with puritanical stuff is it's horseshoe shaped, isn't it? So if you get too pure, then actually you're really devilish.
Which is, that's what happens.
So when North Carolina became its own colony in 1729, it inherited the legend of the lost colony and the questions that came with it. Did the settlers starve, die of exposure, or get attacked by Spanish settlers to the south? Get attacked by the local Croatan tribe. There you go, that's where it's from.
There you go.
Or perhaps integrate peacefully with them, the least likely of the options.
Probably would have survived if they'd been able to integrate.
Well, maybe they did.
That's what happened with the Pilgrims, wasn't it? When they did actually settle there for a while, they would have starved out the winter, but the natives looked after them, showed them how to.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah, that didn't work out very well for them.
well, the good thing is they were very grateful forever for that.
No, absolutely, yeah. Everything that's swimmingly there.
So the answer is still far from known, but new evidence is being unearthed. Last year, archaeologists with the North Carolina-based First Colony Foundation discovered pottery shards they believe belonged to some of the lost colonists. This year, they plan to dig more. Some of the state's unexplained legends, from a vampiric beast in the east to a barren wood circle on the Piedmont to strange light orbs out west, are grounded in real events. Real people, real science, and in some instances, real answers that are still being uncovered today. But don't fret if you're a mystery lover. Even the best modern explanations leave plenty of questions.
Nice.
So, Bladenboro beast, fake news or real terror? By the time the creature attacked its first human, the residents of Bladenboro were already shaken. For the best part of a week, they'd been kept off the streets and bolted their doors as vigilante hunters, toting large guns, poured into their sleepy textile town.
I think the way they resolve problems hasn't changed. What are we talking about here?
This is the 50s.
Oh, was that all the 1950s? I was hoping we were going back to like 1850s.
No, this is relatively new.
Okay,
and there's been also another, from what I've read, another more up to date, like another possible thing with it in 2007.
Okay. Right, so we're in the 50s now, that's cool.
And they're in a textile town, which I believe means tent city. Because tents are made of textiles.
Indeed.
Not modern tents, obviously. They're made of man fibres. Posses, 100 strong, outnumbered the townspeople as they searched to find and kill what appeared to be a demented creature roaming a specific nook of southeastern North Carolina.
Ooh. Did I hear vampiric entity earlier?
A possible vampiric entity, for sure.
Who was that? Was it Camp Saint-Germain or something? It was
yeah, Saint-Germain.
Yeah. No, we've had him on a previous episode, haven't we? He disappeared. He was somewhere knocking around. Was he more Louisiana way? But
he was New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the good regional accents today, Neil. I'm feeling it. It's a Sunday.
Maybe he decided to go to South Carolina.
Maybe he did, but I would suggest maybe not when you hear a description of said beast. For 2 weeks near the start of 1954, about the time my mum was born, the town of Bladenboro was a frenzy. An animal was reported to be draining the blood of neighborhood animals. 8 dogs, a family of kittens, and at least 1 lamb were said to have fallen victim. According to the Bladenboro police chief, Roy Force, 1 dog was discovered mangled and lifeless with only a few drops of blood. Another dog, while assisting a group of 500 men on a hunt for the creature, was reportedly dragged into a nearby swamp screaming. It's not very nice, is it?
The dog scream? howling, I suppose. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
fair enough. Possibly being slightly pedantic.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Neil. It's okay.
Okay.
Just like however it makes it clearer for you.
Yeah.
You know, with how this podcast works is I'm sort of the autocrat, I suppose, and you're like the layman. So if you've got the questions, then, feel free to ask.
You can fill me in. That's good.
Lovely. Eyewitness accounts in the Robertsonian newspaper described the beast as a 3-foot-long feline weighing 90 pounds, and some said it sounded like a baby crying.
3'9" feline. Is that like a biggish cat?
3-foot-long feline weighing 90 pounds.
Oh, okay, not that big then.
Quite big for a cat, like a wild cat, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking like tigers and lions.
But the wildcats drain blood.
This is true. Yeah, no, they're more eaten as flesh, aren't they?
Exactly. Others compared its noise to a woman's shriek. So baby crying and woman shriek, foxes sound like that when they're having sex. I know that.
Do you reckon it was just two foxes
banging away? Yeah.
Someone mistook it for a.
Because you actually get like loads of police calls because they think it's like there's a woman being raped or something, and it's foxes mating.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Theories abounded on the perpetrator's identity: a mad wolf, mountain lion, wildcat, panther, bobcat, spotted leopard, or rabid dog. Authorities found 2 sets of tracks near where the animal appeared to have struck, leading them to believe the vampire beast had a mate. Well, vampires are sexy, aren't they? They're always going to have a mate.
Oh, yeah.
Or a familiar. So, then, on the night of January 4th, the beast struck in its first and only human, a pretty 21-year-old mother, Mrs. Charles Kinslaw. So, not her name then. Yeah. No, just the Mrs.
Married man.
Charles Kinlaw. The Robsonian described her. Though startled, Mrs. Kinlaw escaped unharmed. The next day, Police Chief Fours said the town of 790 people was as quiet as he'd ever known it. The Robsonian called that period a 5-day reign of terror. The effort to bring the beast to bay was a regional affair. Armed fraternity brothers from UNC, oh God.
Everyone's having a go. I think you're just pouring oil on the fire there.
I wouldn't want a load of
frat boys with guns.
Frat bros with guns.
That doesn't sound like an ideal solution.
No.
Mind you, I suppose police are understaffed, aren't they?
I mean, nonetheless, I probably would say we'd like you to. Hi, lads. Appreciate you coming down, but we'd quite like you to fuck off.
Yeah.
So they travelled 2 hours south to partake in the hunt, and tracking dogs were brought in from Wilmington to the east. At one point, the area purportedly had somewhere between 800 and 1,000 hunters. Didn't have the internet, did they?
I guess, there's nothing to do, is there?
So the town was armed to the teeth, Bladenboro Mayor Bob Fussell later recalled to the Greenville News. Even small boys carried guns. Chief of Police Roy Fords and I knew someone would surely be shot accidentally.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, you're far more likely to actually create a bigger problem than the thing you're trying to solve.
There's going to be a lot of boozing and stuff going on as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
News of the vampire beast of Bladenboro was widespread, appearing in the newspapers from California to Massachusetts. In an editorial, the Robsonian equated the terror the animal wrought to another menace visited upon the locals the prior year, the Ku Klux Klan. So, this beast was... You can equate it with the Ku Klux Klan. What I would say is I think this beast's agenda and the KKK's agenda are quite different.
They might be slightly removed, yeah. There's more of a wild animal, whereas just idiots, but yeah.
So the beast of Bladen has been striking at night against other animals. They are comparatively defenseless against its attacks. Its tactics resemble those of the Ku Klux Klan, which also prefers to strike at night, overpowering comparatively defenseless victims with the force of numbers and weapons.
I mean, fair enough. I don't really know why you needed to bring that into the equation, but fair enough. Unless the Ku Klux Klan go for it.
Well, unless he's like humble bragging,
he's protesting too much. Yeah,
he's like, its tactics resemble those of the Ku Klux Klan, who overpower the defenseless people with their force of numbers, weapons, and Jesus. So in mid-January, the shooting of a local bobcat tempered local residents' concerns, and by the end of the month, reports of animal attacks had faded away. Residents today still pass on the story, though many suggest much of the hullabaloo was due to a case of fake news. Mayor Fussell would later acknowledge that the animal was about 90% imagination and 10% truth. It was he who notified the press about a series of suspicious dog deaths, a tip that morphed into a legend. Kimberly Ange Van Houten, an animal science professor at North Carolina State University, said many of big cats people speculated about in 54, cougars, mountain lions, panthers, don't exist in rural areas of North Carolina. And today, the town hosts the annual Beast Fest in honor of its most famous myth. This year's ceremonies fall the day before Halloween.
Well, you may as well make a bit of a festival out of it.
Yes, absolutely.
You put Bladenboro on the map.
So I'm going to go and have a look at a different thing now. If you...
yeah, because I think you said there might have been a later sighting.
Yeah. So I'm going from Cryptid Wiki now. Of famous
Just summarise the 50s one. Then that was what looked like
so
a big
the killings.
So
the 50s ones. So the killings first happened December 29th, 1954, when a farmer reported that a large cat-like beast had attacked one of his dogs and dragged it into the underbush. More killings happened on New Year's Day, 55, when 2 dogs were found dead, all of their blood drained out. The next day, 2 more dogs were attacked by the mystery predator. On the 6th of January, 1954, the 21-year-old mother, Mrs. Kinlaw, walked outside one morning at 7:30 a.m. and saw the beast stalking towards her. She screamed and ran inside her house. Her husband ran outside with a shotgun and saw that the beast had left cat-like paw prints. A farmer also reported the mystery creature had killed 3 of his hogs. Not dogs, hogs.
Hogs, yeah.
Some of his cows and 1 of his goats. This sounds like an insurance.
So they're not all drinking blood then? Just animal attacks in a lot of cases, potentially.
I don't know what this means.
It's weird. But
yeah, so I don't know what this means, but I'm going to read it. The goat's head was fat and fritter.
I could not tell you.
No idea. People also heard weird noises that sounded cat-like and some that sounded like a baby crying and a woman screaming. Locals reported seeing the creature was part bear and part panther.
Okay, yeah, probably making that bit up. Bit of hysteria creeping in there.
It was 3 to 4 feet long, 20
it
inches
were a frog
high.
with the body of a snail.
It was eagle with shell of armadillo. It was 20 inches high and weighed 150 pounds. How they know that, I don't know. But I guess these are farm people, aren't they? So they know the weight of animals.
Yeah, they know how many hands high and how much it would weigh based on other.
Yeah. It had a brownish and tabby brushy fur. The beast also had runty-looking ears with a long tail and a cat-like face. These were the only descriptions of the vampire beast. So, Town's Police Chief Roy Fors organised a hunt for the creature, but came up empty-handed. And when the mayor, W.G. Fussell, told the newspaper about the creatures. It got national publicity, and hunters came all the way from Tennessee.
Okay, so that's when they start rolling around. Yeah.
Yeah. So meanwhile, the town was in chaos. Children were not allowed out at night, and men stormed the forest with guns trying to find the creature. And then after a large bobcat was killed by hunters, Fors and Fussell ended the search and things started settling down. But 2007, the beast returned to North Carolina in 2007, bringing more surprises and fear with it. In Lexington, 60 goats were found with their blood drained and their heads crushed.
You've got to think this is kind of like a hoax for the second time around. It's really escalated.
Yeah, it's a moody hoax, isn't it?
That was pretty disgusting.
Yeah, kill 60 goats and crush their skulls.
Like, a bit of fun. I mean, yeah, but that's my... I mean, because why would an animal just... Yeah, I don't know.
No.
It's not got the MO of the original ones, is it?
No.
He says using his cop language.
Yeah, well, you are a kind of cop, aren't you?
In very many ways, it's like police investigation, isn't it?
Very much so. Yes. And 30 miles away in Greensboro, another farmer lost his goats in the same way. So someone's got it in for goats here.
I was going to say, no, actually, I'll say a hoax, but I mean, that goes well beyond.
In Bolivia, which I must assume is a town in North Carolina rather than the country of Bolivia, a man named Bill Robinson lost his pit bull to the creature. He buried it, but the very next day, it was in the same location where it was killed. So it'd been dug up, put back for some reason.
Sorry, when you said the very next day, that just made me think of Last Christmas. That would have been a very different.
Yeah, the very next day, he moved it away. 4 days later, another resident, Leon Williams, found his pit bull dead. It was covered in blood and missing a few body parts. There was no sign of struggle, which is strange for a pit bull. It's true, they are struggling, aren't they? They strugglesome dogs.
Strugglers.
Other places lost a total of 10 dogs in just 2 weeks. More tracks were found. These ones measured 4.5 inches in diameter. In 2008, TV show Monster Quest did a search for the beast. They concluded that what people may have been seeing and what may have been killing their animals was a cougar. However, the cougar has been dismissed as extinct throughout the east coast of America, except for the tip of Florida.
They wouldn't normally attack like an entire herd of... I don't know, actually, but I mean...
No, they're not.
Normally they'd pick off one, wouldn't they? And then they eat it, and then you wouldn't,
Yeah.
And blood draining the blood as well. It doesn't sound anyway.
So I've got some descriptions out of the horsins' mouths here as well.
Strange, yeah.
So this one's from 1950s when in December 31st, 53, this guy lost 2 dogs, and his name was Johnny Vors. My dogs put up a good fight. There was blood all over the porch, big puddles of it. And there were pools of saliva on the porch. It killed one dog at 10:30 and left it dying there. My dad wrapped up the dog in a blanket. The thing came back and got that dog, and nobody's seen the dog since. At 1:30 in the morning, it came back and killed my other dog and took it off. We found it 3 days later in a hedgerow. The top one of the dog's head was torn off its body and crushed and wet. It was like it had been in the thing's mouth. The other dog's lower jaw was torn off. So it's a powerful creature, whoever's doing this, isn't it? And the description of it was about 20 inches, 50 centimeters high. It had a long tail, about 14 inches, 35 centimeters. The color of it was dark. It had a face exactly like a cat. Only I ain't never seen a cat that big. It was walking around stealthy, sneaky. So, speculation. So, many reported, this is from Wikipedia, many reported accounts describe the beast as feline, but do not agree on any one species.
Mm-hmm.
The animal has been described as resembling either a bear or a panther.
Bear doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They're huge.
What bears?
Yeah.
Depends on the bear.
Yeah, I suppose.
They're not all grizzlies.
Yeah.
Like brown
Bigger
bears
than 3 foot, though, aren't they? Surely.
Well, a brown bear on its 4 legs,
And more than 90 pounds or whatever it is. Though.
probably be more. Yeah, unless it was a cub. But a brown bear, like they're not taller than a human, I don't think.
No. But that's.
But if it's down on all
6 foot, normally, aren't they?
But if it's down on all fours, it'll probably only be 3 foot long, because most of the height's in the legs, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, mate.
Don't know.
Wilmington hunter S.W. Garrett also claimed to have heard the creature scream while hunting and likened that to a panther. Harry Davis, curator at Raleigh State Museum, said that a panther never occurs in this country, which is true. They're from the Amazon, aren't they?
Could be escaped from a zoo or something. I don't know.
Could be. But he was of the opinion that it might have actually been a coyote.
Okay.
Local residents claimed that the beast had tracks like those of a dog, but also said, "I've never seen a dog that large." Chief Force was also reported of believing that the beast to be a wolf. He said that old folks say that they remember seeing wolves in the Bay Swamp area and talk about them every now and then. C.E. Kinslaw described the creature as looking like a big mountain lion when it charged her on January the 5th. Mountain lion is the name typically used in the west of Mississippi for a cougar.
Okay.
And Game Warden of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Sam Culbeth, said that the tracks he investigated indicated a catamount, which is another name for a cougar. Other people described the animal as being like a wolverine. And others speculated the creature might have been a wild police dog.
A varied range of possibilities.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's a fair menagerie of things.
A.R. Stanton, a man from Lumberton, North Carolina, thought the beast of Bladenboro was a German shepherd and hound mixed named Big Boy that he gave to a Native American boy who lived along the edge of the Big Swamp. No, not of the Big Swamp, just of Big Swamp.
Oh, okay. Where do you live? Oh, Big Swamp.
Big Swamp. Who'd you live with?
Could be worse. Could live in a little swamp.
Who'd you live with, Big Boy? Big Boy was dark and had a long bushy tail. Stanton claimed Big Boy was capable of leaping over a 6-foot fence and killed chickens from time to time.
Well, Big Boy.
He is a big boy. Lumberton veterinarian N.G. Baird said that it was very feasible that Big Boy was responsible for the attacks. Baird also said that it was possible Big Boy or another dog could have killed the other dogs and lapped up the blood rather than sucking it.
Yeah.
So its legacy, literature about the events in the winter of 53-54 tends towards skepticism, particularly because of the publicity involving the town through the sensational newspaper reports.
Yeah.
Mayor Woodrow Fussell, who operated the town theatre, went to Charlotte, North Carolina on January 6th to book the film The Big Cat for a day. So there was a film about a big cat as well that he booked for his cinema.
So it sounds like there's a little bit of trying to get get the other place on the map.
But I'm fine with the hustle. Right?
No, that's fine. Go for it.
We get quite annoyed with people who basically don't do the hustle when they've got something like this.
You might as well. You can have a little, but they could be hyping it up at the same time. But why not? You can
Fussell told them to. So Fussell believed it was a hoax, even though he was the one who called the newspaper about the dogs. He found the manner of their death strange, and he said, "A little publicity never hurts a town."
That's true.
A one-arm sign painter tailored his art to fit the sensationalism surrounding the incidents, unnamed, in 54, making bumper plates proclaiming the home of the beast of Bladenboro. In the one morning on December the 15th, 54, a tenant farm near Robson Memorial Hospital, 5 medium-sized pigs and 3 chickens were found dead with crushed skulls. 3 of the pigs had legs torn apart from their bodies. Strangely enough, no blood was evident, indicating the killer employed the same blood-sucking traits as the Bladenboro beast. The next day, a stray dog was killed, which the county dog warden said was most probably the killer from the day before, even though the tracks found at the farm were not compared to the dead dogs. And it was not explained how the dog could have reached the chickens, which were reportedly roosting in a tree. I'd like to see chickens roosting in a tree. You don't really see that, do you, around here?
No, you don't. But apparently they get all over the place. I don't know about roosting in trees, but they jump around apparently in the wild, if they're allowed to, obviously.
So, Boost the Borough, a community booster for Bladenboro, holds an annual Beast Fest, in which the Beast of Bladenboro, or Bob, serves as a mascot that Boost the Borough makes use of the Beast sensational history amongst the locals to generate excitement for community events.
Hurrah!
Hurrah!
I mean, there's clearly not a lot going on in the place, if that's but fair enough. At least you've made.
I don't think it's a small town, isn't it?
Yeah.
Couple, maybe 1,000 people or something.
Oh, okay, like really small. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really small.
Fair enough.
And there was a film, The Beast of Bladenboro.
Would have done well to get themselves on the map.
On IMDb, which came out in 2021. It's 1 hour and 2 minutes long.
Oh, barely making it to feature length.
And the summary is, on the southeastern edge of the North Carolina Piedmont lies the small town of Bladenboro. Bladenboro is a snapshot of small town America, a community of friendly people, local stores, and southern charm. In the 1950s, the communities faced a unique threat, a series of strange animal attacks that struck fear and panic and left an enduring mystery in the wake. This is the tale of the Beast of Bladenboro.
I imagine a lot of that film is just like two people walking around the forests at night.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
But it's got quite a...
You got a good school?
Huh? It's got good what?
I don't know, you're saying it's got... No, sorry, I should let you finish your sentence.
Oh, that's right. No, it's got quite a good, cover art for the film. Not quite professional.
Okay.
So, that's something or other. But Neil, I think that's about it. Quite a short one today, I'm afraid.
Yeah, well, then quite often with these ones. I mean, I think the 50s one does feel like it was just kind of like, a bit of hysteria, small town. Everyone just got involved and, probably just some animal attacks. If they're saying it could potentially have been a German Shepherd, then yeah. And obviously the blood sucking seems weird, but then as other people said, it might have just been, from the wounds or whatever. I mean, to have it all drained out, that's odd. But then again, how accurate that is, I don't know. And the initial descriptions could just be one of those ones where they've kind of embellished details a little bit.
Yeah.
But the later attacks sound far worse. I mean, one with 60 gates.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it? Because my first initial reaction was, well, that wouldn't be a wild animal. But then it's what kind of a sick person would do a hoax like that?
Well, I get the thing, the crushing skull things is the weird bit. But, the thing, jaws are really powerful. So you could, if it was an animal with really powerful jaws.
Wild animal, I mean, you're either defending yourself or wanting to have a meal, aren't you?
Yeah, 60
You're not going to slaughter 60. I don't know. I'm not an expert, obviously.
Well, I would imagine, no, 60
well outside the range of what a wild animal would do.
It's more than, well, yeah, and I don't know, man. It doesn't say whether,
they don't tend to do things like that, do they? You see, anyway, I don't know.
No, because
that seems very odd. I mean, anyway, my point being is that the 50s ones seem to be more of a, explainable kind of probably not that much to it.
How big do packs of wolves get?
I mean, I think they can get. I mean, well, nowhere near. I don't think they're near 60. I think they tend to be fairly independent. So I think you're talking about. I don't know, but 6 to a dozen or something like that. Don't know. Actually, Google this. Google.
Yeah, I'm doing it now. Oh no, that's
just. But again, I'd never heard of the idea that a pack of wolves would. Because they would. If they
so as many as 15.
Okay, yeah.
So I guess what you could say. I mean, I'm sort of stretching here, But if it was a pack of 50 wolves, and maybe it was after the cubbing season or whatever, I don't know what it's called, after they'd had like cubs, then I guess it's possible that they'd do something like that. I mean, it's only like if it was after winter and they're really hungry and they had cubs, then
But you carry off the food, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean?
well, would you? I mean, like if it's in the middle,
what if they're hungry,
of
then
nowhere. No, but you take the cubs with you to teach them to hunt.
Yeah, but I mean, they would only kill what they wanted to eat. I would have thought. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how much can a wolf eat after winter? Do you know what I mean? Because they're big fellas.
But again, I don't know why they would like kill all of them. Anyway, yeah, you shouldn't really speculate.
Well, we don't know that they killed all of them, because there could have been 200 goats.
Yeah, and because I think generally as well, wolves try and stay out of human areas. They're generally very, very wary.
So I think what might have happened here is someone lost a few goats to like animals, like in one night.
Lots of justice coming in.
Yeah,
and decided to turn it into a bigger accident, get insurance.
I think
insurance fiddle.
Well, I think it could be. I mean, it's like it's a horrific insurance fiddle. Like, right now, I've got to crush all my goat skulls.
Well, I mean,
stranger things, worse things have happened.
If somebody was in some extremely difficult financial circumstances, and you tend to be a bit less, if you're a farmer or whatever, you tend to be a bit more prosaic about animal life. I think.
You don't name them.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they're producing meat to be eaten, aren't they?
Yeah. That's a lot. I remember. I'm
not a vegetarian, so I can't be hypocritical about it.
My mum's cousin Heather, who I've known since I was a kid, she had like a farm and she had pigs, and it was like, we're fattening them up to send them off to the slaughterhouse kind of thing. And the thing is, she's just like very, matter of fact about it. That's what they're for and stuff. And I guess that people are like that. I kind of personally, because I'm a big girly man, like I would struggle with that.
But you might not if you'd grown up on a farm. Do you know what I mean?
She didn't grow up on a farm, but she's just got the eye of the tiger.
Fair enough. But I think you'd have to be, wouldn't you? You can't be sort of like breaking down every time. If that's what you're doing, then
we're all different, and we wouldn't have, there wouldn't be meat to eat if some people couldn't make that,
well, no, exactly.
Have that kind of cut off with it. Okay, well, let's go through our scoring system now.
Fair enough.
Spookiness?
It's reasonably spooky. I mean,
it'd be horrible if you had if you had a pet dogs and stuff, wouldn't it?
Sort of like two of them get killed. Yeah, no, that's really sad. It's it's sort of like horrendous animal attacks. I mean, the idea of the blood drinking as well, and that's quite spooky. But yeah, I think so as I say, there were sort of smaller attacks by the sounds of it in the 50s. So but then sort of like to wake up to all of those goats being killed, whatever, that would be extremely spooky. So
it would be extremely profitable.
or depending on your speculation about what actually happened. But I'm going to give it a 7.
7. So I think if you're in this kind of small textile community, like just going about your business, and suddenly dogs start getting, pets and stuff start getting slaughtered. That would be horrible, wouldn't it? Especially, in the 50s, you're quite cut off, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think it'd be... You'd have a close bond with any animal, wouldn't you? But I think especially if you're out in the country and what have you.
Oh, yeah, if anyone even looked at my cats funny, I'd kill them, as you know.
Drain the blood out of them, yeah.
Yep, I've got that sign on my door. And I don't know whether the beast's more spooky or a load of hooched up frat boys turning up with guns is more spooky.
Yeah, if Unleashed is even spookier.
You would be saying, right, we're just staying indoors until they fuck us up, wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. Again, it's kind of like, obviously you're used to it. You're in more of that kind of community, but
well, not really. Or frat boys turning up.
Well, that's true. Yeah, a load
of drunk.
Yeah, it just sounds like that's just waiting for an accident to happen there, basically, as someone did say themselves, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to give it a 6 for that. So believability. I mean, it's very believable because, like, whether some of it was like embellished or whatever, there were these attacks on the animals, right? So it did happen. There's nothing really paranormal about it, apart, it's weird that potentially the blood was gone, but there could be explanations around that. I think the ones in 2000 I don't know, man. I think the ones in 2007. I think I have serious reservations about the goat stuff. But the other people,
the scale of it just seems weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a beast that murders on an industrial scale.
No, exactly. It just I mean, over the time difference between the two sets of attacks.
So I think that there were. I mean, I don't imagine. I mean, it's probably rare, but it's probably not unheard of for animals.
It's a new mayor just trying to get it back on the map. They went a little bit too far.
Well, because it wasn't the same town either. So okay. I think there's kind of like they're bringing it in to kind of keep things going. They're going, and maybe it's back, that kind of thing. Get it talked about again.
Be completely unrelated. Yeah.
But there's nothing like hugely unbelievable here. Apart from what the creature is, we don't know.
So and nobody seems to really agree on what that is anyway.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a 9 for believability now.
Yeah, I'm going to fairly similar. I'm going to go slightly lower just because I think there's been some embellishment of some of the facts. But yeah, I mean, as you say, the latest stuff seems really weird. But yeah, I mean, the animal attacks that happened, I mean, it's recorded. That seems reasonable. Some of the sort of details of sort of blood being completely drained out, sounds like there might have been some embellishment there. I don't know. But yeah, generally, there's nothing massively unbelievable other than that. So yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.
8, lovely. So narrative premise now.
There's not loads here, I don't think. So there's a cat-like creature. I mean, more or less be escaped from a zoo or something like that, or just mistaken for. I mean, the weird thing is that everyone's got different descriptions about whatever this is.
Yeah,
but yeah. No, I don't. I mean, it's not really pleasant killing a load of animals, is there? And it's not really a load to go.
It's not a laugh.
It's not a laugh. But you wouldn't make. I mean, obviously, you can make a film like with any of these things. They end up making like some
1 minute
to streaming movie,
1 hour, 2 minute film.
Yeah, well, that tells its own story. If you can't get 90 minutes out of the material, then well, they haven't said that. That's probably as much to do with budgetary considerations of the filmmakers, etc. But yeah, but again, it's like, well, what's your story going to be? Is you're going to be hunting down for the beast of Bladenboro? I mean, you could substitute for anything. So no, it's going to be a 2 for me. I just don't think there's a lot more in this kind of category that are more interesting. Just don't think there's much there.
So I think for me, the fact that it happened and there's loads of newspaper articles and stuff about it, and then sort of the town's kind of like it's sort of out the way and there's not any people, and then there's this malevolent force kind of coming in. I think that's all right. Like that's not bad. I mean, many a story's been told of that kind of thing, but I don't think it's any better or worse than a lot of them, I guess. And again, the fact that like the town grew by about 3 sizes with hunters turning up. Yeah, I mean, you could probably do something with that. Yeah, I mean, it's an animal attack and stuff, but it's pretty horrible. So I'll give it a 4. And Reach. So I think, it's known in the area. It's probably known in like Wilmington and stuff. It's probably fairly well known in North Carolina. I don't know that it's gone much further than that. I mean, obviously at the time it did, right? Because there were newspaper reports across the land. But it hasn't, I don't know if it's stuck in people's minds that much. I think more exciting things have sort of been reported. So I don't think it's massive. So I'm going to give it a 3 for Reach now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Weirdly, I feel like I've heard of this before, but the details didn't ring much of a bell.
Probably just all merge into one.
Yeah, they do. Beast of whatever. I think I felt like I'd heard it before, but yeah, it's there's loads of these kind of things, and that's part of the problem as well. I think with the narrative premise and the sort of Reach is that like you say, it was probably like national press for a day or two. And nobody's remembered it now. Whereas if you're in the area, obviously it's very small town. You're gonna it's gonna.
Well, they've got a festival, haven't they?
Well, yeah. Well, because also you make it into a bit of a thing, don't you? I mean, it'd be the first time you'd ever found, as you say, like the population, being increasing by 2 or 3 times the size of all of these people trumping around looking for the thing.
Drunks turning up with
That would
With
stay. That would
Tommy
stick in the sort of town memory, wouldn't it? So yeah, it'd be something but yeah, it's not. It's not got enough about it that it's gonna. Yeah, it's not very old. It's not. Yeah, it's probably not going to. So yeah, I'll give it a 3.
So that gives us an overall score of 42. Strong start, weak finish.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm glad we've had a little look at it. Give North Carolina a shout out, etc. So if you've got any beasts, then let us know at herb.legends.podcast@gmail.com or at legendsurbane on Twitter. Sorry, slightly shorter one this week, but there we go. We don't know where these things are going to lead.
You never know.
And I hope you have a nice week moving forward, and we'll be back the same time next week.
Yeah, well, actually, it'll be too late by the time you hear this, but happy Patrick's Day to you, Chris.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too, Neil.
Paddy's Day, by the way, Americans, not Patty. Paddy.
Yeah, it's Paddy's Day.
Paddy's Day.
And happy birthday to you as well, Niall.
3. I'm not going to do an Irish accent.
But your mum's Irish. You can easily do it. Is that why you won't do it?
Yeah.
Right. She's not going to listen to this. All right. Yeah. So enjoy the Guinness, have a pint of the black stuff, and stop turning your rivers green. Bye.
If you have your own fun. Bye.
It's an urban legend, oh yeah. I have girls regret. Oh, I'd give them my best. White and white, please, John. Right, Steve, you so rag. You